Okay, so you started the book long ago and you never finish. We're going to show you in this video how you can use Wababai to finish your book with the help of AI. Okay, so for this video, I'll take an example, a short story I wrote some time ago. I cannot finish, but let's say I want to revisit it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start creating a new project. I'm going to call this Aaron, which was the name of the short story I started. And then actually I could skip these steps because I'm going to use a test that I've already written. I don't want Wababai to write it for me, but anyway, I'm still going to put that this is a short story about a hacker. Okay, for whom? For people interested in hacking and techno thrillers. This is kind of a short story, techno thriller. Right? Why is this? Because it's okay. The story was to explore the conflicts that hackers face. Right? This story is about some moral dilemma that they are having. Okay, and this is interesting because this is important, right? This is the writing style that Wababai is going to use to write the book or to help you rewrite the book. What we are going to do is, instead of defining it in an abstract way, actually I'm going to use this tool, which is find my voice. So I'll paste here a test I've written, actually the test of this short story, and ask Wababai to assess the writing style, to assess the voice of this test. So I will use it now to rewrite the book. So I'll just take this, just edit a little bit if I want, and then this is the one I'm going to add to the project. So I will add this voice to the project, and now the writing style for this project is going to be based on this writing style that Wababai has defined based on my own writing. So that's a way to have Wababai mirror your writing style, your own writing style, right? So we are giving the instructions to Wababai to write as if it was you, with your own writing style. I could ask for a title, but actually I already have a title for the book. So let's say this is Aaron. This was something like a short story about hacking and corruption. I could skip also the same, but anyway, if you completed it, I think it's worthwhile to just have the book described by Wababai. Actually, this is something that we might edit later. And this time, I'm not going to generate an outline. So that's why this is something that you can even do with the free version of Wababai. You don't need to have the premium. You just add a chapter. I'm going to ask just one chapter in this case because this is a shorter story. If I had several chapters, I just would be adding each of the chapters, and then I could even add in the description an input that I have for Wababai to write upon it. In this case, I'm not going to do it because what I want to do is to actually just take the writing I have, then I will click. Imagine you could have several chapters, but again, this is just a sample for the demo, right? So I'm just doing it with one chapter. And here is where instead of generating anything for you, I'm going to use the writing option, and I'm going to paste here again the story I wrote, right? So this is the shortest story I wrote some time ago. And then I can ask Wababai to proofread it. If you are happy with it and you don't want it to be edited again, you can just say, well, just proofread it, and then it will. And this is also, you can do this also with the free version. If you're premium, you can also enrich it or enhance it. In this case, I'm going to take the enriched version, which is the one that is going to kind of do a little bit more, right? Not just editing it, but maybe even adding some things, right? So I will click there. And Wababai will edit that test. This was kind of 3,000 words short story. So it might take some time to process, and now it's here, it's done. If you click on this icon, you're able to compare the new version with the previous one. In this case, we're going to see how the previous version was 3,000 words, the original one. The new edited version is under 3,000 words, it's slightly less, so probably has done some editing for me, right? And then you can see how it has changed, right? Then you could judge, you could just compare and then see how it has changed. And actually, if you want to know what has been changed, you have here a summary of the changes that Wababai has made, right? So that you can judge on your own, right? Or you can edit it here, and you can type and write whatever you want. Let's say I take it for this demo, right? So I have it here, and there it is. You do this with each of the chapters, and then you are able to go relatively quick, right? Again, I'm doing this with a short story, but this is even more powerful with non-fiction. If I come back, I see that this is in drafting stage. If I had several chapters here, I don't have several chapters, but I have several chapters. When you finalize, then you would create a manuscript. Let's create it now. In this case, well, the manuscript is going to be precisely just the chapter I created, but you have several ones you could create. And then you can even assess this first draft to understand. Well, I will tell you, this is also a premium feature, right? But you could get an assessment from Wababai on how good the story is, or your writing is, right? The interesting thing is you will see now that the stage has changed for drafting to drafted, because we already have a manuscript. And now you could even go into a rewriting exercise. So further rewriting. Imagine that you have many sections and different chapters. Then you could go chapter by chapter and have it rewritten. The way you would do this is just simply, you come here. Again, I only have one chapter. If you have several chapters, you would have several of them. Each chapter is a compilation from sections. And in this chapter, again, you have the assessment of the chapter itself, or you could ask simply to rewrite it. So I'm going to ask to rewrite it again. Again, for this exercise, it might not make too much sense because I only have one section on one chapter. But when you have several sections, this is very powerful to make the sections coherent, because it will take the whole chapter with all the sections and rewrite it with your own voice. Right? So that's why this is powerful when you have started a project, but you never finish the first draft. Well, this is the way you can finish your first draft and even rewrite it so that you end up having a second draft. Here it is. And it might be quite similar, I guess. Actually, again, you can come here on the edit pane and compare, and then you would be comparing with the rewritten version, and you can judge again. Well, first, just let's look at the number of words. It's very similar, slightly less number of words. Well, you could compare what changes you had, right? Let's imagine I take it and then I have a rewritten chapter, right? A written chapter that I can take and use. And again, you could get an assessment of the chapter or whatever. Actually, when you do this, let's say I compile what we call the manuscript 2 or the final manuscript, right? I compile this rewritten draft, and then when you compare it, this rewritten draft, if I come back to my book, I see that now it's in the rewritten stage. You see, it has already been rewritten. So now it's just a matter for you to check, to assess the manuscript. If I come here again at manuscript, I can see here they have the rewritten manuscript and also the first draft, right? So I can decide which one. And I can also assess my written draft with rubric assessment. It is going to give me a score based on how good it is. And then if I'm happy with it, I'm ready to go, right? I have here the manuscript, I can copy it, and I have the full book rewritten and ready to use. And one more bonus. One thing you can also do with the new version that we are about to launch for Wababai is translation. So you could come here and translate your book. Imagine you want to publish into other languages. Let's say I want to do it also in Spanish, in Portuguese, or whatever. Take Spanish. I'm going to just ask to translate the title. It's going to tell me, okay, it's Aaron, okay, has translated perfectly into Spanish. And if I click on translate, it's going to take a few minutes because it's like, again, 3,000 words in this case, so it's going to take a while, and it's going to generate the translated version of this short story. For me to, again, once it's translated, I can also proofread it, enhance it, edit it again, so you can iterate as many times as you want. Of course, all that is with the premium version, but that helps you and fine-tune and polish your prose until you're happy with it. All right, so here is the translation. And yeah, it's in Spanish, and okay, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I'll actually, again, if you click on the icon, I can check it, and you can, if you know the language you are translating into, you can check how good it is, and you can edit it based on the original. So I have the original in English, and I have the Spanish translation, so I can edit it directly here as needed if I want. So you will do that chapter by chapter, and then once one is done, I can compile the translated book. Again, this time is just one chapter, and here it is. Again, you can copy, and you have the full chapter. In Spanish, it's like 3,200 words, ready to go. So you see how easy and how powerful is having the assistance of AI with Wababai, with a workflow that is going to make writing your book extremely easy, even having a translation and going through all the process, right? Once you are ready to go, just go to stage, final, and all right, you're ready to go, and you're ready to publish your book.